This is the story of an extraordinary man who has lived an extraordinary life. It is the story of Nestor Carbonell.
The great skill of Nestor is to get you to think that you volunteer to do something that he's really maneuvered you into doing.
Definitely belongs at the United Nations.
He's the only ambassador that we've ever had, and I suspect we ever will have.
Ambassador Carbonell, definitely.
He's a very special person.
He has such a powerful and optimistic energy, which makes us believe that everything is possible.
You couldn't help feeling better about PepsiCo when Nestor was around.
He is a true, exceptional human being.
Our story begins in Havana, Cuba. It is 1936. Nestor Carbonell is born into a family of prominent Cuban patriots and statesmen. Nestor's father is a congressman in Cuba, and his mother raises Nestico along with his sister Marta. He leads a life of sports and clubs and attends boarding school in Palm Beach, Florida. He graduates cum laude. Nestor returns to Havana for college, where he studies law and excels in debates, then attends Harvard and earns a Master of Law degree. In 1958, he returns to Cuba. The following year, he denounces Fidel Castro's communist takeover in newspaper articles and in speeches. He is detained by Castro's police force and placed under surveillance. Nestor trains as a freedom fighter in a secret military camp in the jungles of Guatemala and becomes part of the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961. Just as Nestor's boat is ready to strike, it is called back. The beachhead has already fallen into the hands of Castro forces. At the age of 26, Nestor represents anti-Castro groups before the OAS and U.S. Congress. He alerts leaders of both parties about a covert Soviet military presence in Cuba, a buildup which would soon lead to the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Unmistakable evidence.
Nestor realizes that the liberation of Cuba is not feasible at this time. He settles in New York in 1965. It is here that he meets the love of his life, Rosa Arellano.
He's very caring. He's very thoughtful. He's romantic.
They fall in love and are married in Puerto Rico 6 months later. They have 3 children, daughter Rosa Maria, and sons Nestor Gaston and Jose Manuel, who become the pride and joy of their lives. In the winter of 1967, Nestor Carbonell joins PepsiCo as attorney for Latin America under General Counsel Peter DeLuca.
I remember the first day at Pepsi. I will always remember it.
My father's first day at Pepsi is known as December 1st, 1967. That's what that date is reserved for. It happens to have been the day I was born. But when that day comes around every year, we remember PepsiCo.
Pepsi embraced my mother and my father when they first got here.
I was 22 when Nestor joined Pepsi. And for the whole family, I think Pepsi runs through our veins.
Nestor believes in Pepsi. He thinks really if everybody were smart, they would all want Pepsi.
The pride that was instilled in us as kids with regard to Pepsi was pretty amazing.
Even when we would go on family vacations, we were essentially Pepsi billboards. So we would go skiing with the Pepsi hats and the Pepsi scarves.
We weren't allowed to say the other word anywhere. It was a bad word.
They had never had a Coke in their lives, and I don't think they've ever had a Coke in their lives. And I would die before I have a Coke.
My mother's enthusiasm for the Pepsi brand was so great that she went as far as telling us that if we drank Coke, our hair would fall out.
Now it's Pepsi, for those who think young.
In his early years at Pepsi, Nestor's principal client and mentor is Peter Warren.
While I may have been in charge of the area, if I became his mentor, he, in fact, became mine as well.
Nestor helps resolve a major crisis with bottlers in Venezuela.
Nestor is tenacious, but not confrontational. And that's a sort of a lethal combination.
In 1972, Nestor's business savvy lands him the job of Director of Operations for Pepsi-Cola Mexicana.
In Mexico, he was really a pioneer, also opening our beverage operations and capturing opportunities to make our business even better.
3 years later, Nestor moves to Venezuela as Area Vice President of PepsiCo International for North Latin America. Nestor is then promoted to Regional Vice President for Europe, where he takes on tough challenges.
Nestor is one of those rare people who have always managed to create order out of seeming chaos, accompanied by a level of calm that only a Zen master can approach.
He and his family spend the next 5 years based in London.
We shared in these great experiences, traveling all over the world, moving to so many different countries.
In 1982, Nestor returns to the U.S. as Vice President of International Public Affairs, among other functions, and truly becomes the company's ambassador at large.
I started working for Nestor Carbonell in December of 1983. December 3rd, 1983. 25 years to the day of his retirement party. Working for Nestor Carbonell is amazing. He knows everybody, he knows everything, and he's always right. Drives me crazy.
He is always the person to go to get the answer for what's the right thing to do, no matter what country or culture you're in.
Nestor, along with Don Kendall and Ramesh Vangal, lead PepsiCo's unprecedented breakthrough into India. A skilled negotiator, he settles major government and partner issues in priority markets such as China, India, and the Middle East.
Nestor has left an indelible legacy here in Asia.
Nestor is most certainly going to be remembered amongst the most influential leaders in PepsiCo China's story.
His ability to deliver a tough message to high-powered government officials is outstanding. And you know what? After he delivers this message, they thank him for it.
One of my first memories of Nestor is being with him in a big business meeting in Warsaw, and we're waiting for the president of Poland to come into the room. Eventually he comes in, surrounded by TV cameras and a huge entourage. On the way to the stage, he stops, sees Nestor, gives him a huge bear hug and enormous hellos.
I don't believe I've met a world leader anywhere, current or past, who doesn't ask me, and how's Nestor doing? It's amazing.
He feels very at ease with princes or prime ministers or presidents and even the Pope.
You can't go anywhere with him without him knowing the world, and the whole world knows Nestor.
Sophisticated, intelligent, charming to the nth degree.
Even if you swear to yourself, you're not going to be charmed by him. You can't avoid it.
My father's a man of very few words, but the words that he chooses are typically very powerful.
Cogent, precise, his diction is impeccable.
At Pepsi, they call him the man with a golden tongue.
I think he was born in the wrong century. I think he should have been born in Roman times, where he would have addressed the Colosseum.
He's one of those people that just captivates a room. People are automatically quiet.
It's an art, and he's definitely mastered it. Yeah.
In the mid-'80s, Nestor's creative vision takes PepsiCo's events to a whole new level.
The Sea Goddess Bottler of the Year meetings, to say the least, were extraordinary events.
Nestor makes the top-to-tops and other events extraordinary as well, adding panache and assembling dignitaries and artists from around the world, all drawn to his intellect, culture, and sense of humor.
My father's sense of humor is not the typical sense of humor. It's a very dry, sarcastic, very witty.
Given your intelligence background, and I know it's in the minds of everyone here, where Oh, where is Osama bin Laden?
He's so stoic and academic that you don't expect it coming from him. So when he does do those jokes or pranks, it really comes out of left field.
Run out of control, loudly intoned. Here comes another Sue! A totally embarrassing outburst on the part of Mr. Ron, and it is true.
Oh, no, he can joust with the best of them. He's got a pretty wicked sense of humor.
Oh, he does have a great sense of humor, and he gives everybody names.
There is Governor Swink.
Mike White is Miguelito Blanco.
Senator Galen.
Massimo is D'Amore.
Michel Jourdain. Maranui. My brother is Lito. My sister is La Chula.
My brother Nestor, the actor, is Hail Captain Bleed.
If you get a name from him, it's because he really cares for you.
But I think there's a second motive, and that's because, quite frankly, my father is horrible with names. He can't remember any of our names.
My dad is brilliant, but he is absent-minded. He's very absent-minded.
And no sense of direction. He's always in his world.
He gets lost on the way to the gas station.
Nestor was totally technology challenged.
Technology is not one of his fortes.
If you received an email from him, I typed it, I sent it.
Petrified of electronics.
Changing a light bulb. He doesn't know how to change a light bulb.
So phenomenal on the macro level, on the micro level, not so much.
He's a genuinely warm human being. He genuinely likes the people that he deals with, and he loves Pepsi.
For the last few years, Nestor has worked closely with General Counsel Larry Thompson and CEO of PepsiCo International, Mike White, lending his expertise to PepsiCo's divisions around the world.
He has such a powerful and optimistic energy, which makes us believe that everything is possible.
Nestor is always willing to give anything you ask. If you needed something, he stops and he'll give.
He's an incredibly kind, caring, loving person and has incredible discipline.
He's not perfect, obviously, but almost.
I must say, I think Nestor Carbonell had the greatest sense of balance of work and family and other aspects of his life of anyone I've ever met. And I think that's probably what made him such an effective executive, this great balance.
Part of that balance is finding the time for his true passion, writing about his homeland, Cuba.
He has a great appreciation for the power of the word, and he uses the might of the pen to get his message across.
Oh, he's always writing. Reading and writing. That's his life. He sits in his chair with a legal pad and pencils, #2 pencils.
Getting millions of people reading about the stories of Cuba, the real side of Cuba that most people don't really get to see. And it really culminates when he does his book signings. And there are hundreds of people in a room, and people are so enthralled wanting him to sign that book because they feel so passionate about Cuba and what he stands for Cuba.
It's our dream to end the adventure in Cuba. It would mean a lot for me and for him especially, because that has been in his mind for 50 years, going back and being able to do something to rebuild that country. We didn't think it was going to be this long. We owe everything to the U.S. This is my country. But I would like to be able to do something for the land where I was born. One day.
Great companies have a soul, and Nestor and Rosa are two people who are very much a part of the soul of PepsiCo and have contributed so much beyond what you could even tangibly identify just because of who they are.
I can't really imagine Nestor retiring. I know that a lot of us are thinking, if we get into real trouble, we're going to give Nestor a phone call.
That it has been a real dream for him working for this amazing company, but at the heart of it, what has driven him is the people. It's the people at Pepsi, and they have meant the world to him.
I'm very grateful that I've worked for Nestor Carbonell. He has been a true gentleman in every sense of the word, and it's been an honor to be his assistant for 25 years.
It's unbelievable. You know, he is this man that I've learned so much, you know, professionally, academically, but even now that I'm a father with 2 children, you know, seeing what it means to be that loyal, kind, loving father, loyal, kind, loving husband, to have that as an example every day of my life has just been a real gem.
I have just great love for my father, great respect.
He's given me an amazing life, so I'm very, very fortunate.
In a little while, I will leave the campus, but PepsiCo and all of you will remain in my heart. I am truly blessed. Thank you and Godspeed.
I don't really consider this a farewell party. This is just an occasion to pay tribute to a man who will never stop working and who will never stop caring and whom we will always feel very close to.